Adjourned Associate and OD Coordinator of SK Associates and Group. We both are your hosts for today's talk show. So, introduce yourself.
Good morning from Peru. Very honored and grateful to the prestigious manager consulting firm SK Associates and Group, and the doctors Tia Vajay, Puja Kumari, and Rima Kumari. I'm ready.
Okay.
Wait for the questions.
Hi, sir. Moving ahead, the only things that stand between you and your dream is living to try and believe that is actually possible. It's a beautiful quote quoted by Joel Bond. So, this quote I would like to also name Conversations with episode 49 of our guest talk series.
Moving ahead, before we begin our talk, so let me briefly introduce SK Associates and Group. We are an ISO certified management consulting firm registered under the MSME Act 2006 with the Government of India. Our mission is to provide consulting services to student entrepreneurs globally, covering areas such as compliance, operations, marketing, research and development, human capital strategy, and operations. Our passion lies in helping these budding entrepreneurs bring their dreams to life and contribute to global economic growth.
Entrepreneurship is a catalyst for change and innovation. It's a powerful force that can reshape industries, transforms lives, and make the world a better place. We are committed to supporting student entrepreneurs on their journey, equipping them with the tools, knowledge, network they need to succeed.
Now, before we begin our show, let's take a moment to introduce our guest for today. It gives us immense pleasure to welcome George Isaac Torres Manrique, President of the Interdisciplinary School of Fundamental Rights. To this special event, we are truly honored by your presence today, and we are thrilled to have you share this momentous occasion with you. We would like to start this interview with our first question for you. So, your first question is: how did your education at Católica of Santa Maria University shape your legal perspective?
In a very important, this private university is the best law school in Arequipa, the place where I was born. I was able to corroborate this later in my professional practice, and I made students and two master's degrees in criminal law and business law, and two doctorates in law and administration, which I later studied in Lima, Peru.
Okay, great.
Moving ahead, your next question is: what inspired you to pursue a career in law?
Okay, my father studied dedication and willpower. He passionate manner, correctness, fairness, and makingness systematically and constantly. He was the first lawyer of my family and relatives, a great lawyer and better person.
Okay, nice. Moving on, next question. What motivated you to pursue doctorates in both law and administration?
To be able to have access a more complete, broad, and distinguished view with a reward to the doctorate in administration and was motivated to have access to a different perspective complementary to the law. That's it to say the interdisciplinary approach.
Okay. Moving ahead, your next question is: how has your academic journey influenced your legal consultancy work?
First of all, I must make a clarification. Well, what uh, has had the greatest influence on my work and management has been my quality as a global interdisciplinary legal researcher. Thus, research has had a very relevant, forceful, and leading influence on my work as a legal advisor.
Okay, moving on next question. What are the key responsibilities of legal consultant in your field?
Okay, knowing how to identify the client's interests and objectives, make now the scope, advantage, and disadvantage of legal claim to guarantee that the client's claim an effective and efficient in its materialization, to guarantee that in extreme cases your access and legal liabilities may not be put at risk. Finally, guarantee full labor and academic solvency.
Okay. Your next question is, what are some of the biggest legal challenges you have to encountered in your career?
The biggest challenge was to become the best interdisciplinary legal research in the world. I had to research the legal scenario of practically every country. Is the world nothing that this can only be demonstrated by effective publications and academic presence in that venue. Publications must contain, in an objective, concrete, and high relevant manner, analysis, reflections, conclusions, and suggestions. It requires, in the first place, innate capacity. You are born with it. Passion, dedication, and effective production and leading presence. Achieving to challenge has taken me almost as long as I have been a lawyer, that it's more than 20 years.
Okay, great. Your next question is, how has the legal landscape in Peru evolved over the years?
Okay, in this same in other countries, which with exceptions such as Cuba, Venezuela, Nicaragua, among others. Thus, in the first place, there was the state of nature, thus justice by one's own hand, then the rule of law in which code and legally appear, next the constitutional state in which the political constitution is places in the top in the legal system. This stage is the current on in almost all the world. Then come the conventional state, the restoration of law state, and finally the state of justice. That is the graduality, and the highest degree of evolution is finally justice.
It sounds good. Moving ahead, your next question is, how do you choose the topics for your publication?
Mm, mm, Excuse me. Mm, I have the questions. What inspired to you, author or co-author, over 150 books and theaters? This is the question. Okay, in this case, in my serious, permanent, and overing commitment to research, it's something that is born on oneself. I like boiling like fire. Although my objective is not centered on a determined number of books published and to be published, but in the contribution, proposals, and unique, singular, and unalienable nature of each one of the books I write and direct.
Okay. What role does the Interdisciplinary School of Fundamental Rights, Praeminentia Iustitia, play in legal education reform?
Of course, Praeminentia Iustitia, of which I am a founder and president, plays a leading role and excellence on a global scale with training, legal reforms, law, research, and not only a legal society. Its courses and training reflect the trademark of Preminente Justitia. It has a network of more than 4,000 speakers from over 60 countries. It trademark it's constituted by approaching topics unique, under repeatable, most important, most transcendent, both in Peru as well as in the world. Finally, analysis of the future of the legal realities in what is the yet to come.
Okay, sir. Moving ahead, your next question is, what are some of the most impactful books you have written?
Yes, modestly aside, um, they are all unique, very transcendent, and unitable. However, I can point out interdisciplinary theaters of strategic oral litigation, theaters of the interdisciplinarity of contemporary fundamental rights, perspective and prospects, interspecies families on fundamental rights, the crucial challenge faces of the BRICS, of the unstable growth of the bloc of the global emerging economies, interdisciplinary theaters of the economic criminal law, the transformation of artificial intelligence, theaters of the fundamental rights, a comprehensive interdisciplinary system application a study, theaters of the hermeneutics of fundamental rights, elucidations, perspective, disruptions.
Okay, what are the challenges of publishing legal treatises in multiple countries?
We break down barriers for the dissemination of first level legal knowledge to make them accessible to different legal systems, to procure a favored society commitment its fundamental rights and development.
Your next question is, can you highlight some key insights from your research on fundamental rights?
Of course, the current legal system in force is the constitutional rule of law. Therefore, the following are the line and guarantee of obligatory observance of the first order, the political constitution, constitutional law, and fundamental rights. In other hand, they are applied and interpreted transversally to the legal branches of the system and legal or the legal system, and in equal terms to all signs of disciplines other than law.
Okay, moving ahead, next question. How does interdisciplinary contribute to legal studies and practice?
Okay. It contributes to have a complete macro vision, analysis, and interpretation of them. This is in the light of other science and legal disciplines other than law, because legal conflicts do not start or end only in the legal scenario.
Okay, your next question is, how do legal systems in Latin America differ in their approaches to fundamental rights?
Yes. The difference between there in involving them in the constitutional recognition and effective safeguard and fundamental rights. Thus, we have, for example, Bolivia, the generational vision of these rights is overcome, which in the Bolivian case is reinforced, among others, by the inclusion of principles such as interculturality and decolonization. Then we have Ecuador and Bolivia, plurinational states of law and constitutionalism. This is reflected in the political constitution. Then Uruguay, Costa Rica, and Chile, states with the highest levels of democracy. Then Nicaragua, Venezuela, and Cuba, authoritarian states. Then Paraguay, Colombia, and Puerto Rico, repressive tactics such as the improper use of force to silence criticisms of those who defend human rights of the journalists, violating their fundamental rights to expression, opinion, and information. Cuba Sportanellus, the demonstration by the population to lead a violent response by the authorities and the detention and hundreds of people. Honduras, Salvador, Mexico, Brazil, Venezuela, violence against for the LGTBA community, women and indigenous people continues to the worsen, and the region has the highest rate and non-sponsored violence against women in the world. Finally, Argentina and Colombia, recognition of the fundamental rights of non-human animals.
Okay, moving on next question. How would you define yourself as a leader?
The question, how would you define yourself as a leader? As a combination of innate behavior, transformational, and situation qualities. It's an individual who inspires, confidence, motivates action, promotes growth, and adapts to the environmental to achieve collective success. There is not single definition, but rather a spectrum to styles and skills that converge in the ability to lead and empower others.
Your next question is, what are some of the most pressing legal issues in the region today?
Please repeat the question.
Okay. What are the some of the most pressing legal issues in the region today? Okay. I changed the question. I'm audible.
Hello, what happened?
Okay, about this question, excuse me for the later. First, organized crime, the illicit association to the committing a crime, and finally, the peculado crime.
Okay, what was your role in the annotated criminal codes of Ecuador, Colombia, Chile, and Panama? Hello, I'm audible, Mr. George.
Okay, that of co-scientific director, in this case of Ecuador, it had more than 10 editions. Colombia's is in press. Chile and Panama are in preparation.
Okay, your next question is, how do you see the role of international collaboration in legal research?
Very important. As long as it goes beyond the singing of the agreement and the photo.
Moving on, next question. How does your work contribute to legal harmonization in Latin America?
In the message that the safeguarding and recognition of fundamental rights are not only inalienable, but also have no nationality because they are universal rights for human in the world.
Okay, your next question is, what is your perspective on the balance between law and ethics?
The balance between law and ethics is a complex, fundamental issue associated. Law is set legal rules, seeks to regulate social coexistence, establishing limits and sanctions for conducts considered unlawful. Ethics, of the other hand, refers to the moral principles that guide individual and collective conduct, determine that it's considered good or bad, just unjust rewards and of legally. The challenge lies in finding a balance that guarantees justice and respect for fundamental rights without negligence ethical reflections of the rules that govern us. The balance is not static, but evolves with time and society, adapting the cultural change and new realities. Citizen participation, constructive criticism, and open dialogue are essential tools for achieving a legal system that is both fair and ethical. The search for this balance is an ongoing task that requires a constant commitment on the part of individuals, institutions, and the state.
Moving ahead, next question. What role does interdisciplinary research play in shaping legal thought?
Uh, Repeat the question, please.
So, what role does interdisciplinary research play in shaping legal thought? Hello. Hello, Mr. George.
About the question, how does legality contribute to legal studies and practice? I can say it contributes to have a complete macro vision, analysis and interpretation of them. This in the light of other science and legal disciplines other than law, because legal conflicts do not start and end only in the legal scenario. About what the role does interdisciplinary research play in shaping legal thought, I think in thinking, analyzing, interpreting, and acting according to the shape and the human head that it's in all directions, not only from legal point of the view.
Okay, your next question is, how can fundamental rights be better protected in modern legal systems?
We can determine political and legal will of the states. The Constitution, a massive exercise to the fundamental right of the population to peaceful public protest without weapons, awareness of public officials of the nature and the scope of fundamental rights, inclusion of the subjects of fundamental rights and public management in the curricular educational levels from kindergarten to university.
Okay, moving ahead, next question. How can law adapt to emerging global challenges such as AI and digital privacy?
In this case, welcoming artificial intelligence is a complementary, are not supplementary way the human beings, in addition to regularly and legally guaranteed effective access to it. Repeat, in addition to regularly it legally guaranteed effective access to it. For more, safeguarding to right to privacy.
Okay, your next question is, how do you view the relationship between law and public policy? And give example.
Please, please repeat the question.
How do you view the relationship between law and public policy? Give example.
Will you view the relationship between law and public policy? This is the question. About the questions, very narrow. In principle, the state was created by the population, and in addition, it's supported by their taxes for this operation. Therefore, the population has the right to access to transparency and access to public information and accountability. Therefore, the population also has the legitimate right to have a state carry out public policy exclusivity for the benefit of the population, especially those who have the least.
Okay, moving ahead. Next question. What advice would you give to your young lawyers aspiring to enter legal academia? Got it or not?
Of course, but they devote themselves, body and soul, blood and fire, to the study and research flow. The positions they may occupy at this time will not give them the recognition and consideration of the academy and their college. For this can only be achieved with permanent and methodical dedication to study. This will be their greatest achievement, their contribution to law, its quintessence, its fulfillment. In 12th century Europe, the first university were created to teach law. And that time people studied to become a better person, are not to become a lawyer. We must recover to spirit. Finally, only if you fall in love with the law will you truly appreciate the process. And then as lawyers, I remember my father always saying that my passion was law school. The rest of your life, finally, the values and principles that the know-how to observe will serve them as support, legitimacy, and humanity.
Okay, your next question is, what are your future research or publication plan?
Continue to raise and develop new, important, and more transcendent themes in my various academic projects.
Please brief Mr. George. Hello, I'm audible.
Repeat, repeat. The continue to raise and develop now new, important, and more transcendent themes in my various academic projects.
Okay, okay.
Okay, your next question is, what legacy do you hope to leave in the legal field?
So, committed to research, abundant, important, and transcendental doctrine production, the greater scope of countries in global headquarters in which the works of my authorship have been published. The effective contribution translate in substantial improvements to all actors in the administration of justice, public management, and society as a whole.
Okay, would you like any specific modification or a focus on particular aspect?
In any case, it's necessary to raise an important concept to the population. The population has the power, dominion, and preeminence over the state, public officials, and public management. Thus, the population should not conceive of the state as having power and having to put up with its abuse and misdeeds. It's the population that has the power over the state.
Explain how to schedule your day for success.
Certainly, your day for success is not about an agenda for a task, but about strategic planning that prioritizes productivity and well-being. The key lies in smart organization, time management, and self-awareness. Start by identify your goals, prioritize the most important and difficult takes for the times of day when feel most productive. Integrate self-care into schedule. Set aside time of activities that help to stay physical and mentally healthy. Exercise, meditation, time of the low ounce, and healthy body in mind are crucial and term productivity. Finally, review and adjust your scheduling. At the end of the day, evaluate what you did and did not accomplishing. Identify areas where you need to improve your time management and adjust your planning for the next day.
Your next question is, what has been your biggest failure and what did you learn from it?
In this case, we have as I can say, having studied are not concluded education, science, accounting, and economics. Uh, from this, I learned that it does not matter the time of the events that have to happen. It when you finally achieve it's your path in life. In my case, I finally entered the career of law. That it is what I always wanted to be in the best thing that has happened to me in my life.
Okay. Your next question is, how do you motivate yourself in your hardest time?
Please repeat the question.
Okay, change the questions. You need to break the rules if you want success. Do you agree with this statement?
Definitely, the disruptive, the permanent, the unreasonable often guarantee a change of transformation, evolution, overcoming.
Okay, moving ahead. Next question. How do you see the future of legal education evolving? Hello, got it my question or not?
The future Okay, the future of legal education is basis of the integration of technology with human training, globalization with professional ethics, and specialization with holistic vision. Tomorrow's legal professionals with need to be versatility, adaptable, of commitment to social justice, equipped with the tools and skills necessary to meet the challenge ever-changing world.
Hello, Mr. George. Please elaborate little more.
Please the question.
Yeah, sure. How do you see the future of legal education evolving?
The future of the legal education is basis of the integration of technology with the human training, globalization with professional ethics, and specialization with holistic vision. Tomorrow's legal professionals we need to able versatility, adaptable and competent and justice social justice equipped with the tools and skills necessary to meet the challenge of an ever-changing world.
Okay, and your next question is, do you agree with the notion that one doesn't choose their passion, rather their passion choose them? Could you provide an example to illustrate perspective on this statement?
Okay. They believe that passion choose you. This is because it's more important to want what you want than to do one to one. Here as example, the case of the Marie Curie passion for science or path to the elite. Marie Curie, the brilliant Polish scientist, a paradigmatic example of how passion can lead to elite from a young age. She showed a fascination for science, especially physicals and chemistry. Despite the difficulties she faces in over a woman and the fame, Marie Curie devoted herself to research with fervor. Her passion led her to discover radioactivity with her husband, Pierre Curie, and discovered that revolutionized science and medicine. Her dedication to research, her tenacity, and her thirst for knowledge led her to become the first woman to win a Nobel Prize, the first person to win two Nobel Prizes and in a different sense, scientific fields of the only persons to win Nobel Prizes is two different files. Mary Curie not only rose to the top of the scientific elite, but also inspired generations of scientists follow her passions to science. Her stories is a testament how passions, perseverance of commitment can lead to excellence and leave an indelible make on history.
Please provide one example. Hello, please give me a one example.
Can you repeat the example? Mm, of course, I have the example about the I believe that the passion choose you. The case of the Marie Curie passion for science, a path to the elite. Marie Curie, the brilliant Polish scientist, is a paradigmatic example of how passion can lead to the elite. From a young age, she showed a fascination to science, especially physics and chemistry. Despite the difficulties she faced as a woman at the time, Marie Curie devoted herself to research with favor. Her passion led her to discover radioactivity with her husband Pierre Curie and discovered that revolutionary science and medicine. Her dedication to research, her tenacity at the thirst to knowledge led her to become the first woman to win a Nobel Prize, the first person to win two Nobel Prizes in different science fields, and the only person to win Nobel Prize or different titles. Marie Curie not only rose to the top of the scientific elite, but also inspired generation of scientists to follow her passion for science. Her story is a different testament of how to passion, perseverance, and commitment can lead to excellence and leave an indelible mark of history.
Okay, great. Your last question is, what do you believe are the three qualities that make or can make someone be a star in any field that he or she chooses?
Of course. First, the innate ability to be a start, determination, and constant effort, and finally, the motivation for excellence.
Please elaborate a little more. Hello?
The answer?
No, no, please.
Okay. Understand, excuse me.
Okay, no problem. Your second last question is, how do you motivate yourself in your harder times?
Understanding that it makes a difference. For in those moments must do not move forward. For it's easy to be motivated in the absence of troubles.
Okay, okay. Moving ahead, we would like to express our sincere gratitude, George Isaac Torres Manrique, Peru, President of Interdisciplinary School of Fundamental Rights. Our guest for today at Conversation with Consultants, your presence and engagement helped to make it a success. Thank you for providing insight into your inspirational journey. Once again, Mr. George, thank you a lot.
Thank you very much. Very honored. Greetings from Peru.
Further, we could also like to thank our audience for listening patiently throughout the event. Thank you everyone for joining with us today. Hope that everyone has gained some knowledge to this event. Looking ahead, we are excited to announce that our next episode 50 of Conversation with Consultants will be held next weekend. We hope to see you all there. Thank you again, and we look forward to reconnecting with you next week. Do subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us all social media handles to stay connected with us. Goodbye and have a great day ahead.
Thank you a lot, Mr. George.
Thank you very much. Greetings.